Now that I have given a definition, an intuitive one and a pretty abstract one too, of what a dictionary is, and have also given some examples that help us be more specific what we mean with dictionaries and what we want to do with them. In this video, I will be speaking about the Python syntax for dictionaries. I will define empty dictionaries, I will add key value pairs to them, and I will also iterate them using the items function. Let's get to it. To do this, we will use the Jupyter notebook that you can find the link of in the notes of these videos. Okay, and I will be running them here. For example, in order to define a dictionary, I use this syntax. I will be naming my dictionary and initializing it by assigning it to these curly brackets. For list, if you remember, we used to use square brackets, normal brackets for tuples, and dictionaries use this kind of curly brackets. In case you have previous experience with Python, you might also notice that sets also use the same syntax in Python, but they are less frequent, and let's not worry about them now. Let's just say that to define a dictionary, we will use these curly brackets, and we have done this here, a dictionary that I call my dict, and then I have printed its type, which is a dictionary, okay, dict. And I have printed it, and of course this is a slightly boring dictionary because it has absolutely no key value pairs. So this is an empty dictionary with nothing inside of it. How do we go about adding key value pairs to a dictionary? Well, there are several ways to do this, and let's just start with the first one. Let's consider that we want to set up a dictionary where the keys are strings, are the names of some of my friends, and the values are integers. In this case, we want to store the money that they owe us or that we owe them in our dictionary. In order to add a key value pair to a dictionary, we just use the name of the dictionary, square brackets to access it. So we access them just as we did with lists. We define them differently, okay, with curly brackets, but we access them with square brackets. And then we invoke the key that we want to access. Here, as we are adding a new key value pair to our dictionary, what we will do is say, hey, this association with the key Roger will be 1000. So by doing this, I have added the Roger, 1000 key value pair to my dictionary. We can do that a few more times, and I can add the Yuki 5430 and Rafael minus 1250. We owe Rafael money to our dictionary. Okay, so we have 3 pairs. We can access any of the pairs by invoking this same syntax. So for example, I will first print the value associated to key Rafael here, okay? And then I can print my whole dictionary. We will also check what happens if we add a second value for a key that we already had, okay? In particular, we will add, again, to key Roger, we will add value 0. First it was 1000 and then it was 0. Let's run this and see what happens. First we get that the value associated to key Rafael is the one that we had added. Okay, so all working there. And first our dictionary contains these 3 key value pairs, Roger 1000, Yuki 5430, and Rafael minus 1250. Okay. Adding again this key value pair, what happens is that I have overwritten my previous key value pairs. In general, in dictionaries, every key is associated to one and only to 0 or 1 pairs. Okay, if the key is in the dictionary, then it only has one value. What happens if I try to access a dictionary with a key that is not there? Well, as you will see, I get an error, appropriately named key error in Python. Okay, so Python is telling me very clearly this key, Ronald prompt, that you have added to the dictionary is not there. Okay, so we have seen how to define empty dictionaries and add key value pairs to them. Okay, there are other ways to add dictionaries to add information, add key value pairs to our dictionaries. Okay, here we just show that the values in one dictionary can be of different types. Okay, so for example, here I have added integers, strings, booleans to the same dictionary. Okay, and not only that, I have used different types also for my keys too in the same dictionary. I can use integers. I can use a tuple as long as it doesn't have mutable parts. That's okay. Tuples are immutable, and tuples that have no mutable parts are hashable too. Floats, and I can even use boolean for the keys of my dictionaries. Okay. However, if I try to add a mutable key to my dictionary, I get, sorry, that's not the correct error. I get an error which is unhashable type. Okay, lists are mutable, so they cannot be hashed, so they cannot act as keys for my dictionary. That's what Python is telling me here. Okay, in particular, tuples can be used as keys for dictionaries as we saw here, but not if they contain lists. Okay, again, unhashable type. There are other ways to create dictionaries or to start dictionaries other than as empty dictionaries. For example, I can just write down by hand lists of key and value pairs. Okay, and I do that by using semicolon to separate the keys and the values. And I do this, red is 0, green is 1, and yellow is 2, and I get this dictionary. Okay, and I can access keys normally. Not only that, if I happen to have my keys and values conveniently separated into different lists, for example, I will make a number list which is a range of 11, so it will contain the numbers from 0 to 10. Okay, and then I will make a values list which is just the word value and a string conversion of each of my numbers. So it will be value 0, value 1, value 2. So I have these two lists, one that contains numbers and one that contains value plus the string version of the number. Okay, I can use these two lists to, let's say, automatically make this list of pairs using zip. Okay, we have seen zip before. We will see it in more detail later, but let's just say that if you use zip here, you can create a dictionary from two lists of pairs. Let's run it and let's see that it works. Okay, so I can create dictionaries as empty dictionaries initially if I use the curly brackets with nothing in between, or I can use them with some key value pairs from the start if I use this syntax, or I have two lists and I use zip. Finally, for this video, sometimes I will want to iterate dictionaries. When I want to do that, a very convenient way to do it is to use items, the items function. Okay, the items function returns an iterator which I can then use in a loop. For example, in this form, for key v in my dictionary.items. Okay, that returns a tuple with the key and the value, and I'm using tuple unpacking here to separate them. Okay, if I run this, at each loop I'm getting the key and printing it, key 0 has value 0, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I have seen how to create dictionaries, either empty and then add key value pairs using this syntax. So I have dictionary name of key equals the new value that I want to add, or just this part to access this. This part to access the possible value that the key has in a dictionary. Okay, I have seen that I can do initialization lists for dictionaries like this one, or I can do it a little bit more automatically if I use zip. Sometimes I might want to access not the keys and values at the same time, but maybe only the keys or only the values. I can, in addition to calling dictionary items, I can call dictionary keys or dictionary values, and I get them separately as a list. In the next video, we will be speaking about dictionary efficiency. Is it really worth it? Should we just be using lists? Stay tuned.